Hello everybody, welcome into this new video. In today's new full tutorial, we've talked earlier about how to create your actual website if you are focusing into the clothing store. But in today's video, what I want to do is to create something. I'm not going to be creating something like this. I'm just like using some reference here. And what I want to do here is to make sure that I have improved my actual website. So I'm using Sarah because Sarah is like really great speaking about clothing stores. So what I want to do is to try to not to emulate, but to take this as an inspiration to create something a little bit more interesting, much with more related into my brand. So if I go into the example that we just did before, you're gonna be seeing that this is like too broad, this is too general. I mean, it's gonna be helping us a lot to get started. But what I actually wanted to do is to improve my store. Because if I see the store, as you can see, we have the home, the catalog, the contact section. Here are some featured product, the multimedia college, and there's nothing else. So what I want to do is to add more stuff. I want to actually have like a really professional website, a clothing brand website. So I can, let's say I can be in the same level than this guys. Of course, I don't have like a lot of stuff here. I don't have like a lot of products. But speaking about the design, we are going to actually do this in a full tutorial so you guys see what I actually do in order to improve and to customize my designs. By the end of the video, this is how it's going to be looking, our website. So if you want to stick around and see what do we do in order to feature our stuff, well, stick around because we're going to get started right away. And we're going to be adding some more pages like the About Us section, the FAQ, and much more. So first of all, what I did here is to go into my Shopify store. Now before I continue guys, I'm going to leave you a link down below in the description. So you might be having your own online store, and there's an amazing offer that you can have a starter or a basic plan of Shopify with only paying $1 freaking for 3 months. So I believe this is too great to get it started. So you might want to check it out that. And then once you have here your store, as you can see, I have my online store already added here. So if you want to actually know how to add products, how to make some print on demand, I'm going to leave you down below the video, the full video of how we do this, how we create this website, so you guys don't have any issues, any questions there. So with that being said, I'm just going to get started with the second part of the video. So what I want to do here, first of all, is to try to update my brand. So if I go into the inspiration website or the example, as you can see, the first thing that I see here is an image. So I'm going to hit into the X mark. I'm going to go all my way up. So what do you see here? The first thing that you see into this website is the big sale word online and in store. But I can see 3 things here. Number 1 is the brand, which I'm using here. Number 2 are the colors. So as you can see, there are a lot of minimalistic colors, like 2 elegant designs. And number 3, which is I think it's one of the most important things when you are creating a clothing store, a clothing brand store, is the models. So the models are going to be helping you to boost your clothing store. This one is going to be telling which kind of people you want to actually buy, sell these people. So for example, let's say that I want to sell to all people who are Asian typed, or I don't know, maybe some Latin America style, or some Asian style. So that totally depends on what you're trying to look for. If you aim to sell to worldwide, I'm pretty sure that this just won't work for us, because I believe that you want to start from scratch. You want to start really from just one small amount of people, and then you can go broader and more broader and broader. So I have this already as an example. So if I go back here into my store, notice how I already have some featured products into my store, which I think this is not that accurate for me to making a quick comparison between both of them. So what I want to do first of all is to update here my actual logo. So I'm going to hit into settings, and here into settings what I want to do is to scroll all my way down and look for brand. Here into brand, what you want to do is to update your website. So what I do have here, speaking about the brand, here I'm going to be seeing my logos, my main colors, even the default image that appears into my website. So before we dig into the design, we want to actually upload, for example, the logo. Here's in the square mode. Here we have some colors, a secondary color, a cover image, and a slogan, show description, and social links. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using another tool. This is called Canva. Now Canva is an amazing tool to design your stuff. This is totally for free, but I'm going to be using Canva Pro. Now Canva Pro has a lot of stuff that I mean, it's really worthy speaking about designing. So if you want to check it out, I'm going to leave you a code, the link down below in the description. If you want to check it out, this Canva Pro features, there is a lot, really lot of stuff to use. So if I go into Canva, I hit into create a design. As you can see, I created a design with a 2000 by 2000 pixels. So here I want to select this option and choose updated logo humans, which is the name of my store. I'm going to leave it like that. And here into uploads, what you want to do is to choose the upload files, and you want to upload the file that actually you have here. In my case, this is the logo that I've just created, so you just need to select it. And here what I want to do is to try to improve my logo in order to have like more chances to get hurt. So as you can see, what I do love about my logo, what I do love about this logo is that this is too general. I mean, it's just too simple. I believe that the simple is the best. So you don't want to add so much stuff. So I just wanted to add like a little bit more of colors, speaking about the brand design. So if I go into the elements, I want to add something a little bit else into my logo, just to have like more presence, more colors. Let's say for example that I just want to add a circle. So speaking about this brown color, of course this one is not that accurate. I want to look for some coloristic one. So let's say that I want to look for, I don't know, maybe something a little bit orangey like this. And as you can see, I have like more bring it to life, right? So I just want to make sure that my logo does not have a background. As you can see, we do have a white background, so that's the reason why I'm using the Canva Pro, because Canva Pro has the background remover. So if I hit the remove the background, the automatically, of course, is going to be disappeared. So just like that, here is my logo without the background. So as you can see, it looks a little bit better with the color, but I think that speaking about a clothing brand, I don't feel like this is a clothing brand, so I want to look for another kind of color. So if I actually look for something else, let's say for example something like this, it's going to be looking a little bit more interesting. You can change, of course, the shape later, but in my case I just want to merge this with a color in order to improve my actual brand. So I'm just gonna make this a little bit more like this. And there we go. So as you can see, we do have something a little bit more improved. So if you want to change the lines and shapes, for example here, instead of just a circle, you can add, let's say, I don't know, maybe this option, or just like a flag, or just like a heart. That totally depends on you, of course. I'm not going to be focusing a lot into the design. I just want to focus into the website design. So I'm just going to delete this, and I'm just going to put in here this one. I'm going to send this to the back, and there we go. So you can just play in here as you want to. So as you can see, I've created something just a little bit more general, but once again, I'm not going to be focusing a lot into the design, but a lot into the design of the website. So this is just a little improvement I've done with my brand. So I'm going to share this I'm going to download this. Actually, I'm going to make sure that this one is a little bit smaller so I can resize that later into my website. So when you hit into share, download, choose the transparent background, and hit into download with a little bit more size to have more resolution, like this. And I'm going to hit into download. Just like that, I have improved already my actual brand. So we hit into save. I'm going to go back in here, get into logos. I'm going to hit into add images, or just do the drag and drop like this. There we go. Really easy to update that, and hit into done. There we go. So as you can see, I have just a little bit more, like a little boost of resolution. So actually it appears like that. So here I do have, for example, the square version of the social media channels. This is the compatible with this channels. I'm going to hit into change, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. There we go. So I'm already seeing something more and more interesting, right? So if I am focusing into the blue color, let's say that now I wanted to see, instead of black, I want to see this color as blue, or something a little bit more darker than this one. So what I want to do is to go a little bit up once again, and here I want to create something new, 1920 by 1080. Alright, there we go. So what I want to do is to copy my logo. I'm going to paste that in here. And what I want to do is to assume that this is going to be my background. So I'm going to make this a little bit more interesting. Instead of putting this into the center part, let's see how it's looking here. Alright, so maybe I can input this into the right part of the font, like the background, like this, a little bit more. Let's say like that. And you can copy and paste that into your design. I'm going to make this a little bit more smaller and put it in here. So there we go. So instead of just choosing a white background, which I think it's really great speaking about the minimalistic style, but I want to create something can be having a little bit more of life. So choose my colors. There we go. So here I want to look for something else that can help improve my actual store. So I'm going to be choosing this option, or try to even hit into elements. And here into elements, I want to look for patterns. So choose patterns. And here into patterns, you want to go into graphics. And there we go. So here into graphics, as you can see, we do have more style here. So for example, I can add this element here. There we go. It kind of looks a little bit more interesting. I can just move this like this. This totally depends on what is the actual style of your brand. Now I am not trying to emulate these Sarah stuff. I'm trying to make this my own and trying to make this something a little bit more let's say teenage, like that. So with that being said, I think that this can be helping me a lot to improve my actual website. So here are all my elements that I can choose to improve that, and as you can see, I can add this like that. I'm gonna send this to the back. So there we go. We have like more and more. I'm gonna choose the color like this. We do have more and more style speaking about our website. If you want to change to figure it out how this one looks into a black color, for example, or leave it into white like this. So I think it's going to be really worthy to try to improve your stuff, to try to use more and more ideas to bring those into your actual brand. Just remember what I just said, the less is better. So just hit into download. I'm going to make this size a little bit more big enough. Hit into download, and I'm just going to import this in here into the cover image like that. And I'm gonna just go a few seconds here. There we go. Here's my design. Hit into done. And I'm gonna go a little bit up. So just to make a quick comparison between what we had earlier, I believe that we have a little bit of improvement here. So speaking about the design and the logo, you don't actually want to have two logos into the same page. So for example, I already have the full logo into my cover image, so that means that the logo that appears into applications, into this little square, I want to make this a little bit more broader. So whether you can choose to actually use a t-shirt, one of your products, or to make this a little bit more let's say a little bit more general. For example, in my case, since I do have a little logo here, I have text and I have one element, what I can just do is to actually just add the little person here. And I don't have to be focusing into the actual logo because I'm just going to be focusing in here. So there. So I just can add this into this part of my website. It's going to be looking a little bit more important, right? So that really depends on what are you trying to do into your store. This is another design that I just created a few seconds ago. It was actually a little bit more easier to did it, but I do like this one better. And here I have the actual preview. So I think it's great to see that. I think that I can change this even color, but I'm going to do that later. So you're going to be focusing into the next part. So here you have some quick notes. In here I've just added the few stuff that you can do to improve your website. So here we have updated our brand logo. I'm just going to scratch this. And then we have the update the product. So this one means that I'm going to hit into save. And what I want to do is to go into my online store. And if you are actually making some print on demand, this is like going to be really easy for you. If you're selling your own stuff, you have your own modes and all that, this might be taking a few steps more, but the process is exactly the same. So what you want to do, speaking about the product, is to actually have really professional images in order to sell, because at the end of the day, people, what do they want to figure it out into their store is to see what do they have for sale. So speaking about Sarah here, for example, here we do have the products, but we haven't seen the products and the prices yet. We've just seen a few models with the style that this actual website has here. So this is what I want to do into my store. I'm not saying that you have to buy a professional camera, to pay some model to just focus in here and do exactly the same thing that your competitors are doing. I'm just saying that what you can do is try to improve a little bit more your brand with a little bit more professional photos. Even your iPhone, even your Samsung phone, whatever smart device that you have can be taking really great pictures with a low price. So in my case, I've created these two items using Printful, so I don't have to be focusing a lot into the actual camera stuff. So what I want to do now is to go into the exit mark. If you are into the same thing, into the same scenario that I'm doing here, I just want to update that into Printful. So Printful, this is the way of how I actually work into speaking about the product into my website. So I do have these two items. So if I hit into edit, what I want to do is to add some more attractive images that can be helping me to improve how it's going to be looking at my website. So here where it says edit prices, you can hit into edit description, and here you have the product item, and you can change that. You can change the look of your actual brand in here. So what I'm going to be doing here is actually do something a little bit else. So I'm going to hit into stores, and here into stores I want to add a product here into my humans from Shopify. So I've already added like a t-shirt and a hoodie, so I think that we can add something a little bit more. Speaking about clothing, I'm going to hit into men's clothing, all men's clothing. There we go. And here I want to look for, let's say, something a little bit more different. For example, you have a sweat shirt here, or I can buy a pullover. So I'm gonna scroll a little bit down and try to focus, let's say for example, into this one. So this one could be a little bit more easier to add into my store. As you can see, this is all over print So if I add some design, let's say for example that I'm going to hit into design, I'm going to hit into choose file, and here into choose file I choose my logo. So as you can see, this is like really simple. So if you have the same design that you want to have like a pattern here, you can actually do that. So you want to use the option that says front pattern, and here you want to choose how many patterns you want to see. For example, this is a block of 4 or a block of brick like this, and you want to do this spacing like that. So scale to fit, you can do this smaller if you want to, and hit into scale to fit. In my case, I'm going to make this a little bit more smaller. And then what I want to do is to hit into proceed to media, and I'm going to leave it the back side, the right and the left part like that. Actually I'm going to choose to do exactly the same thing. Hit into the back, look exactly for the same design like that, and here is my logo. And in here, it's going to make this a little bit more smaller, like this. There we go. And then I'm going to hit into the right sleeve, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. This is going to be just really simple. But after that, what you want to do is to, I'm going to hit of course pattern, leave it like this into the block, and make this a little bit more smaller. There we go. Hit into proceed to media, just continue. So this is what I've been talking about before, speaking about the mockups or the images that you want to show into your product. So what do you see here when we actually want to find a product? So I'm gonna go into this part of my inspiration website. I'm gonna hit into men, and I'm gonna hit into, let's say, jackets and coats. This one. There we go. So as you can see, we are not seeing the actual clothing with anything. We're seeing the model and a style that can be moved with the item, and all the stuff are added in here. I mean, all the examples are with the same stuff. So whether you can do this, or if you don't have any models, you can do just like I just did before here into my store, just by hanging this stuff or just like floating. So this is not going to be affecting a lot in our store, but I think it's going to be a little bit more human to have models into your store, because at the end of the day we're selling some emotions, we're selling like style. So this is really important when you have a clothing store. So if I choose the option that says mockup, I'm going to hit into additional, and I want to look for something more catchier. Let's say for example this man, and this is the hoodie that I'm selling actually here. Now the mockup review is not available for this product. The files to download will have your design on them. We cannot just add this to for now. Now in my case, of course, this one is not available for the style that I just created, but I'm going to try to look for something else. Let's say for example this preview, or use this guy and add some more mockups. Let's say for example this one is actually really important to add, speaking about the specs. So in my case, this one is reveal feed, mesh lining, side pocket with zipper. This is really important for the buyer to see what you're selling. So just put into your customers' shoes. If you want to buy something, you want to know everything about your actual product. So I'm gonna choose something like this. I'm gonna hit into proceed to details, and here's the product title. Now the product title is not that important to just focus a lot into the product title, because if I go into, as you can see, you have the lightweight plaid jacket. It's really easy. You just have to be really descriptive of what you're actually looking for. So if you have men's windbreaker, you don't want to input stuff like the looks, I don't know, maybe limited edition. You don't want to add that. If you want to add that, I mean, it's totally good, it's totally fine, but I think it's not that important. You just want to focus into the actual description. Now you might not notice, but the description is something really important when you are publishing your listing. Everybody, once again, we are selling feelings, we're selling content. What we want to do is to make people to embrace, to actually understand and try to make some emotional feeling here into your brand. So here into the description, you want to add something that can be catchier for your logo. For example, if you, or let's say I'm gonna hit like this is for those who wanted to look different from others. I don't know, maybe this is something too broad, but you get the idea, right? You have to actually have the description with some actual emotions in there, so people can actually like understand, and they might say at the end of the day like, oh, you know what, I understand this brand, I'm gonna buy this. So I'm gonna hit my collection into my home page, so I want just to add this into the pricing. And this is something really important. If I go back into my actual section of Sarah here, as you can see, we do have the actual price and we do have the sale price. So each time that you have a sales price, you have 3 more chances to make a sale, to actually sell something, to proceed with an order. So if you want to add that, what you want to do is to go back here. I'm going to have the retail price. For example, here I have 19 and I want to add something a little bit more. Let's say, for example, this is 1000. I'm going to go into 2014 and hit into apply. So this one actually looks a little bit more expensive, but at the end of the day, what we want to do is to edit this price into our Shopify. We can do the sales stuff later, so you don't have to worry about that. We just want to make it look like we are on sale, so people are going to get more chances to be more enthusiastic, guys, to actually buy your stuff. So I just need to wait till the process has been done. What I want to do is to go back here into my store, and while this is doing, we can go into the next part of the video. So this is why we want to locate the editor or the blocks where we just set here into Shopify. So here into Shopify, I can go into customize, and here into customize, as almost any kind of website, we do have some block sections. So here I just need to drag and drop or delete stuff that I don't want to see. So as we talked before into the very first part of the video, I don't want to see the products yet. I want to see the actual style of my brand here. So if I don't have a model like Sarah does, what I can do is to make some concept art. So I can go here back, I can choose this option, hit into plus, for example, add section, and here I'm going to add a college. So here I'm going to add a college like this. There we go. So speaking about this college, I just want to make some slider. So if you don't have a slider, I can go back in here, I can go into sections, and here into sections I want to hit into add section, and I want to look for a slider or a slide. We have the slideshow. There we go. So here we do have the slideshow. I want to select this one and move that into the very first part of my template. There we go. So people are going to be looking at this when we actually start to create our stuff. So here, whether you want to choose your brand like this or you want to use models. So yeah, I'm going to just choose 3 images because I don't have actually models here, but I'm going to go into clothes, and I want to look for some categories that actually try to fit with my store. Let's say, for example, I'm gonna look for, I don't know, maybe this one. I mean, if we are, of course, some kind of a warehouse or something, this is going to be really helpful, but in that case, we just want to customize. We just want to feature one model, we want to feature one clothing. So if I choose, let's say, for example, I don't know, maybe hoodie, but you have this model, right? Actually, this guy has like some style, speaking about the actual store that I'm selling. So you can choose that option, you can have more options in here, but you have like a broad idea of what we can do into this actual website, into the design of our website. So I'm going to select this one, and here I'm going to hit into edit. There we go. And I can add a focal point if I want to adjust this. Let's say, for example, I want to see from this side of the image, and there we go. So here's my image slider. This has been updated right now. So there we go. So here into where it says image slider, I'm going to delete this, and here have the image slider. Here, let's say that I want to add the very first interesting stuff about my website, about my brand, which that would be sales over, let's say, 40% discount, or I'm gonna hit into discount over 40%. And here it says tell your brand story through images. I want to delete that, and I'm gonna add choose the best that fits for you. Choose the best that fits you. That fits you. Actually, I'm gonna leave it like that. That fits you. And here you have the button label. So this button label can be, let's say, for example, shop now, like that. And we have the button link. And here into the button link, what you want to do is to add the products. So I'm gonna be choosing all products. So people, when they click in here, they're gonna be sent it into our product. So here we have all products. Use outline button style. If I enable this option, this one of course is going to be looking a little bit more minimalistic. Looks really great like that. There you go. So if we have the color scheme, I can change this one for different color schemes. This is something that we created into our brand outside of the editor of actual Shopify. So in my case, I think this one is looking a little bit more better. You leave it like that. If you want to move this into the left part or into the center part, you can do that. In my case, I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm going to save this because so far I think it's looking too great. So now what I want to do is to select this header. So here, as you can see, we do have the header. Now that I have some black colors, I want to change this one into something a little bit more colorful. For example, I don't know, maybe white color, like that. There we go. So here is my logo, custom logo grid. I can make this a little bit more big enough if I want to, but just take in mind that each time I make this a little bit more bigger, the header is making bigger as we are just moving things up. So I think I'm gonna stick around with the like this, just a little bit more like that. And the stop logo position, I'm gonna hit into the middle center like this. It's gonna be helping me just to improve a little bit more the style of my logo. So there. Now here we do have the three sections: the home, the catalog, and the contact. So what I want to do is to change the menu. If you want to have some improvement here, I'm gonna make this a little bit more upper, hitting to change menu, and here we can add something more. For example, you have the footer menu and we have the main menu. So I just want to focus into main menu. In here, I'm going to hit into create menu. So what's going to happen is going to be sending me outside of Shopify so I can import my pages. And what I can do is just to organize them before I add those into my editor. For example, here I have the title. I'm going to hit the About Us section. So I'm going to hit add menu item, About Us, and here is the link. So I'm going to just leave it like this and hit into add like that. Search collection, product pages, blog post, policies. I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to hit into pages. Here into pages you want to add, I'm going to hit add new page. Here I want to add About Us, and here's my content. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence chat from the OpenAI that's going to be helping us a lot to answer almost any question. It's going to make us improve our brand, our website, almost any kind of product that you have available here. So why am I using this? Because if you actually don't know what to add into your About Us section, you can ask the ChatGPT to help you to actually like create something here. So in my case, this one actually it's not available yet, but if I go and add ChatGPT, I'm going to be asking, let's say for example, help me to design or to create an About Us section content for my clothing store. And you can copy this one and you can paste that into ChatGPT. And this is how we can have a lot of options here into ChatGPT. I'm gonna just figure it out. I'm gonna try to get it in here and see if this one is actually available. Sometimes it just won't work because there are a lot of people in here, and sometimes they are constantly making some maintenance. It seems like we are now inside. I'm gonna do here's help me to create an about us section content for my clothing store. I'm gonna hit into enter. So here it is. Sure, here's an example of an about us section for a clothing store. Welcome to go to destination for the latest fashion. So ChatGPT is going to be helping us to create our about us section, and we have to frustrate a lot because we don't know what to say, because this is a really important part when you are creating a clothing store. You want to tell your story, you want to tell why you are doing what you're doing, what is the meaning of your actual brand, of your designs. So this is value. We want to bring value into our website, into our designs. So I'm gonna copy this one and I'm gonna paste that into Shopify, and I'm gonna customize this. Welcome to humans, your go-to destination for the latest fashion trends and style. We are family owned as blah 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 blah. Our passion for providing high quality. We offer a wide selection of clothing men. So I can delete this because I think that I won't need it. So you can add elements as you wanted to. So you can customize this as you wanted. This is just a tool that can be helping you to improve your brand, not only your website but your brand. So what we're doing here is to improve, update our brand as well as our website. A website is a tool to help us to have more professionalism into our brand. So in addition to our physical store, so I'm gonna hit into online store. We also have an online store, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna delete this once again. I'm gonna hit we are dedicated to provide our team of experienced buyers. I'm gonna hit we have a team of experienced buyers carefully created our collection to ensure we are proud to be part of the United States, or hit into the New York community, and look forward to addressing you for all of life's occasions. Thank you for choosing humans, and remember that happiness, it's on you, or it's by you. This is some brand that actually appears into the website that I've assigned it. So I'm gonna get into save. Now as you can see, I have the about us section. So what does that mean? Well, if I go a little bit back into navigation, where you can see there was the menu that we created in here, I can choose to add the about us section that we just created before. So I'm going to double click into the navigation part like this, and if this one actually does not work, I'm going to just try to reload the page, and there we go. So once we are in here, I'm going to do exactly the same thing that we just did before, is to add the home catalog contact, the about us section. So here into main menu, I'm going to hit into add menu item. I'm going to hit about us, and the link, I'm going to choose the page that we created. So I'm going to hit the pages about us, add. Boom, there we go. So if I hit into save, I'm going to go back here into my Shopify, select menu, and here I want to actually search for something else. So I'm going to go back here, and here to have the about us section. So if I clicked in here, all the information that we added before is now going to be added in here automatically. So here in about us, I want to add actually something more into this page. I want to add a section of an image. So I have an image banner like that, and I'm going to put this into the upper side like this. There we go. So I'm going to just click in here, and here for example I'm going to tap we care. And here I want to type the slogan that I have into my store, which I can find into settings, into my actual brand. I'm gonna scroll and then I'm gonna find my slogan, happiness it's on you. And I'm gonna go back in here and I'm gonna paste that into the description. There we go. Now I'm gonna go a little bit back here. I'm gonna select my blocked. And here I do have show container on desktop, color scheme, stack images on mobile. So I think that I just want to look for the accent at number 2 or the background number 2, like that. And I want to choose one image that actually was really helpful for me in the very first part, like this one. Or I can upload my very own or look for something more. Let's say, for example, hoodie. So here I have more categories. So I can add, let's say, this one. Hit select. And I'm going to hit into second image so I can have like more variety of images. So go into free images, hit into hoodie. And then here into hoodie, I want to look for something like this. Hit into select. And there we go. We have two different styles of images. So now what I want to do is to actually hit into these buttons. And I want to delete those because I don't want to see those. There we go. So it's looking much better, right? So there we go. I'm gonna scroll down about our section. It's looking really awesome. So whether I want to choose that option or to make this a little bit more in the down part, because I think we already added images in the very first part of our website. So I want to feature the about us section. So I'm going to make this in the upper side, and this is how it's going to be looking. So I'm going to hit into save. There we go. It's looking much more humanized, right? So this is once again what we are selling. We're selling content, we're selling ideas, we're selling emotions. So we want people to, let's say, to understand, to empathize with our brand. So in my case, this one has been called humans, but I mean, this is just an example here. So lastly, I'm going to go back here into my notes, and I'm going to delete the about us in the ChatGPT, like that. And lastly, I just forgot to add the FAQ section. So I'm going to just scratch this, and I want to add this the same way that we did before. I'm going to go back into my Shopify section, like this, into my dashboard. Here I want to look for pages. And here into pages, I want to look for add page, like this, and the title FIQ. S. There we go. And I can do exactly the same thing with ChatGPT. I can ask the same prompt, help me create an FIQ section content for my clothing store. I'm gonna hit into the enter mark. Sure, here's an example of an FIQ section for clothing. What are your hours of operation? And this is an example. Of course, what you want to do is to choose all the tools that can be helping you to improve, to customize your website. And after that, then we can just figure it out as we can just customize this as we want to do. So what I want to do is to just wait until this one has been finished. And once again, I just copy and paste all this info because I think it's like really a lot of stuff that is really worthy to check it out. So once again, you have the link down below in the description, guys, so you can check it out, the OpenAI, and you can use this tool with your own brand. So I'm going to copy all this information. So I'm going to go here into the content and I'm going to paste that into the upper side. I'm going to hit we care about all your questions. So we managed to gather the most common questions asked about us. So what are your hours of operation? Do you have a return policy? Do you offer gift cards? Do you offer alteration? Do you have a sales charge? Do you offer shipping? Do you offer any discounted promotions? Are you hiring? How can I contact you? You can reach us by phone. I'm going to delete this because we don't have a contact yet, but this is how we can get started into the FAQ section. So I'm going to just hit into save. There we go. So now with that being said, lastly guys, this is something that you can even add into the ChatGPT. As you can see, we do have the show HTML. So I can ask the computer to, let's say, remember this example. Now show me that example in a HTML. There we go. Sure, here's an example of an FAQ section for clothing store in HTML. So what the computer is going to be doing is exactly the same code. So we are just going to copy that code and import that here into Shopify so we can have a little bit more of style. So I'm going to delete all of this content. I'm going to go back into my ChatGPT. So there. Once again, I'm going to scroll a little bit up because we already have a basic structure. Now as you can see, we do have the please take in mind this is a basic structure. You might want to add CS styles or JavaScript in order to make it look and feel the way you want it to. If you want to try to add those, let's say, can you add SCC style and CSS style question mark? Sure, here's an example with an HTML with a basic CSS. So that's a style. That's something that is going to be really helpful. So I'm going to go back here, I'm going to paste the code, and I'm going to hit back. There we go. So as you can see, this style has been added automatically. So really awesome to have this tool if you want to have this into your brand. I think it's going to be really worthy. So once you have like a style that you like to copy with the actual FAQ, I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. Show the HTML file, paste my file here, go back, and boom, here's my style already added. So I'm going to hit now into save, and I'm going to show you the very last part that we need in order to have a little bit more like our inspirational website, which is actually the promotions and the sales stuff. So if you want to add some discount, you can go into your store and hit into discount. So discount and promotion are going to be appearing in here. So what you can do is to create some discount, and you can choose create like a code, you can amount of products, you can offer free shipping, you can order discount. So if I want to make like a discount, you have the fixed amount. As you can see, you have the discount code. Here I want to select a specific product, so I'm going to choose browse, or even I want to choose the specific collection that would be everything to my home page. I'm going to hit into add, and here as you can see, we do have the fixed amount. So you want to make sure that you are choosing, let's say for example here into specific products, I want to choose all of the options that are in here because all of them are 314, 314, 314, 314, 314. So I'm gonna select here into add, and I want to change the fixed price into 219. So only apply discount once per order. If not selected, we'll be taking off eligible items. Delete this. No minimum purchase requirements, customer eligibility, maximum discount usage. I'm going to delete into limit number of time discount, let's say just 50 times. And combinations, you want to leave it like that. You want to hit into start date of today and hit into save discount. So this is a product that actually been added. So here into the discount code, I'm going to add, let's say for example, newbies. Here into generate and save. There we go. So the discount has been created automatically. So when someone uses this actual stuff, of course, I'm going to be having the details already added in here. So now if I go back into my online store, I'm going to hit into stay. I'm going to save the changes. There we go. I'm going to leave the page. I'm going to go back here into my own store like that. So as you can see, it's looking much more interesting so far. And there we go. So as you can see, now we do have the 3 dots. I'm going to hit into customize. Now what I want to do before I leave is to actually show them the very first discount, this slideshow here, the announcement bar, which is actually this one. So this announcement bar is going to be helping me to gather more stuff. So here into the announcement bar, I'm going to be adding, let's say, free shipping for new customers, like this. And the background, I want to choose one of the background colors like this. And here linked a post, I'm going to choose all the products, all of them, and hit into save. There we go. So it's looking much more interesting. So now if you want to add something else, let's say that I want to add the ad section, and here I want to look for announce like this. There's actually nothing found yet, so I'm going to delete this and I'm going to try something more easier. I'm going to hit into more, and there we go. We do have the multi-column, the page, rich text, slideshow, and the video. Videos are really strong if you are actually making a store, a clothing store. So we can add a YouTube video, or you can add whatever you want to. But in my case, I just want to focus into the images because I actually don't have a video so far. But this one is actually something that's going to be really worthy for your store. So I'm going to just go back in here. If you don't want to see a block, you don't have to worry about that. Just look for the block and you want to hide this. There you go. So we don't have to be worrying about that anymore. Now, if I go into the theme settings, here I can change the colors. For example, the accent that was in the upper side, I can change that into the color that's more accurate into my brand. Let's say, for example, something like this, more coloristic, like that, and a little bit more down here. I believe something like that. There we go. So we do have different background colors, and if you want to change even the background of your store, you can do that. So let's say, for example, that I don't want to see even the multi-college, or I want to see all of this, but into something else. Let's say, for example, that this multi-college, I don't want to see this. I'm going to remove this selection. I have the featured products. I have the multimedia college. I want to remove the selection. And there we go. Discount over 40%. There we go. Featured products, the about section, our mission, links, subscribe to our mail. So what is left to be done? I think that the latest part is what we just talked before, even the sale channel, because we have created some discounts with promo codes, but we want to add this directly into our website so people can be more incentivized to actually click into our stuff here. Now what I want to do is to hit into save like this. There we go. So lastly, I'm going to go back here into the very first part Shopify, which is actually this one. And here it says display your promotions, capture the attention of your shoppers. So hit into add announcement bar. This is something that we just added before, but you can add something else if you do wanted to. So I can add announcement, and I can just add as I have more and more stuff. So this is something that can be helping us a lot, the actual Shopify, to improve a little bit more our themes. And actually we do have a score here of our themes, and it's going to be helping us a lot to improve more our store. So what I want to do now is to hit into the products. And here into products, what I want to do is to make some sales stuff. So I want to hit into this one. There we go. So now what I want to do is to scroll a little bit down like this. There we go. There are some variants here, add variant here, and as you can see, all of them has a custom price, all of them. So if I choose edit, I want to choose open bulk editor or choose edit prices. So here into the bulk editor, what I want to do is to change the actual price. So here it says compare at price. This is the actual price where you're selling your stuff. So I want to change this into 210. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing in here, and $240, 250, 310, 310, like this. And this is what I'm going to be doing with all my actual products. So what you want to make sure, if is that you have the free shipping method and the fees and everything already added. So you want just to add a little bit more prices into your store, and just like that, I'm gonna hit into save. So what's gonna happen here is gonna be appearing the real price and the compared price at the very side part of the real price. I mean, it's not real price, just like the real price, and you're making people seeing that you are having sales into all your actual customed stuff here. So I just edit 58 variants of one item. So what you want to do is to do exactly the same thing with all your products or the products that you want to add the sales offer. So just waiting to what this one has been successfully done. I'm going to go back in here, and here what you want to do is to go back here into exit mode, and I want to go into view your store. So as you can see, now this one looks a little bit more better than we've just created. Before, we do have the logo in here, the very upper part. We do have all our sections here. We do have an image of our brand. The discount appears in here, shop now, and down below I have the featured products that I've been selling. So speaking about the home section, I think that it would be really worthy to add some about us section down below here before hitting to the featured products, so people can understand, know who are we, right? So I can add this later. I can add this into my editor if there's something that you don't like to. I mean, of course, there's always a change that you can customize this as you want to. So what I can tell you is that you want to based into what the computer has done that you haven't yet. So I'm gonna hit into about, and even you want to feature your, let's say that you were added into the Forbes, into any, I don't know, maybe some local news, you can add those blocks post in here like that, and here into the heading size, and you can add the specific block here. You can go into the change block, and here into selected block you can add and create your blocks away from your editor. In my case, I just won't add it yet. I'm just going to delete this section. I'm just going to stick around with that, and then I'm going to just go back here into my Shopify. I want to exit here to the variants, and there we go. So if I go back now, what I want to see is the actual price, the new price of my products. So I'm gonna exit here. I'm gonna hit into view store. There we go. And then what I want to do, we do have the catalog, the contact, and the about us section. So I'm gonna scroll a little bit down, and what I want to see is if my item has been added with the price yet. Just by selecting here all my products, I'm going to open the bulk editor, and here this price I'm going to put that into the compare, and the discount I'm going to be added that in here, let's say 459, and I'm going to add this into the whole price of the whole variance, hit into save. So if I go into the products of my store, as you can see, if I just reload the page, here's going to be appearing the button that says sale. So this is the price of the comparison, and this is the new price. So people are going to be seeing like, oh my god, this one is on offer. I'm going to just buy this because this is a huge discount, right? So that's this. These are a few ideas that can be helping you to improve, to customize your website. Use those tools, use all those elements that we just that I show you here into this tutorial. You don't want to focus into copy and paste what other competitors are doing. You want to look for a actual website, actual place that looks, let's say that you want to look a little bit accurate like them. So if I want to focus into a hip hop store, hip hop clothing store, I do have all my elements. I do have different ways to get some inspiration and see how does this one actually work for them, and if actually this can be working for me as well. So I think like the latest part that I can add later, let's say for example, is the category section, because I don't have a categories, because I don't have like a lot of products yet, but I can add some into the catalog, I can add the actual categories into the left part of my store. So you're just gonna be improving your store as you are adding more and more stuff. So I can guarantee you guys that if you update constantly your store, people are going to just passing by and they're going to be realizing that your store is scaling up into another level. So we've reached into the last part of the video. Hopefully this was a very useful video for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more amazing tools about this, how we can do this, how we can improve our website. And well guys, I'll see you on the next video. You can leave your comments down below and we'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. The best of luck.